Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff Chambers from The Australian. President Biden, as mentioned, Prime Minister Albanese flies to Beijing next Saturday to meet the Chinese President and Premier. Your administration has raised deep concerns over a very long period of time about the Chinese Communist government's aggressive coercion and intimidation tactics, maritime claims in the South China Sea, as we've seen with the situation with the Philippines, state-sponsored cyber attacks. Last week, we heard from the spy chiefs talking about theft of intellectual property on an industrial scale and obviously human rights abuses. What do you make of China's re-engagement with Australia? Can Australia trust Beijing? And can Australia do business with China?
Trust but verify is the phrase. And look, China is having their own internal and external difficulties right now. China's economic growth is stagnant compared to what it was. China has engaged in activities that Russia and many other activities that others have engaged in terms of intimidation and dealing with other countries. But the fact is that I have met with Xi Jinping more than any other world leader has. I've had over 68 hours of private meetings, he and I, with simultaneous interpreters, starting back when I was vice president, because it wasn't appropriate for a president of the United States to be meeting with the vice president. So I traveled 17,000 miles with him. And I've subsequently, in addition to that 68 hours, I've also had another, they tell me they keep meticulous contact, another, I think, 12, 15 hours of discussions, just he and I. And I think that he is realizing that there are, for example, his Belt and Road Initiative. Well, we're going to compete on that, and we're doing it a different way. The Belt and Road Initiative has ended up debt in a noose for most of the people who have signed on. We are working with our G7 partners to provide infrastructure for the very nations that he's trying to deal with. We want to, for example, at the G20, we were able to act on a proposal I had to build a railroad all the way from Riyadh, all the way through the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Israel, up through Greece, and then across not the railroad, but pipeline across the Mediterranean up into Europe. Pardon me?
You're the reliable partner in terms of when you say you're going to deliver something, the US and its partners deliver.
I hope, not just me, I hope the United States is a reliable partner when we act. But it wasn't just the United States that agreed on that. Because look, even to this day, when my discussions with the Saudis and the Crown Prince was he wants to see a reconciliation take place. It's overwhelmingly in his interest. It's in Saudi's interest. It's the idea that you'd have the nations of the Middle East cooperating economically and politically changes the dynamic significantly. And so I just think that it is it's something that it's in everyone's interest, including long-term in China's interest.